Happy 2025, Becky.
Happy New Year.
I am pretty excited that we survived a whole year of these and we're back.
We are. We are. We're here to do it again.
As we were talking, I'm sure that there are lots of people who know we put a lot of work in on the back end here, but we had talked yesterday to prep for today's call. And then it occurred to me, we have officially been doing lives for Ohio Western Reserve Ladies for 1 year. We've met 12
Oh,
times and this is our anniversary.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
isn't that
It's been
fun?
fun. I've enjoyed it. I hope we've gotten good information out there.
Yeah, and it is great information, and in the light of educating people, we know, which we're going to talk about here in just a little bit, but we know that the information has been so needed, both at the
Mhm.
cemetery level and at our level. People have learned so much. We have skipped over a lot of hurdles that were happening. So this is kind of a big anniversary for us. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes.
So happy anniversary, girl.
I love it. I love it.
All right, we're going to jump right in because, of course, y'all love it, but I got 2 pages again. So we're efficient. All right, so let's start today by addressing the elephant in the room. I know we're going to have a lot of people who have asked, and we've had a busy social media page, but we had to put a little bit of a somber post up uh, since Wreaths Across America Day, and we want to address it kind of efficiently here. We had to put some information up about security of our group and our members. And to say that I'm disappointed is putting it lightly. Um, it, I'm disappointed. I'm sad that this is where we ended up. But I also want to say that we overwhelmingly appreciate the members of this community, the members of our organization that came out in robustness in defense
Mhm.
of us. And we're not going to spend a bunch of time giving a voice to the people who could not contain themselves. But we did need to draw a line in the sand and take a stance that said, hey, by the way, you got to contain yourself. So the reality of what happened was very unfortunate. It was not a single incident. I kind of call them keyboard warriors. We are going to give people a voice at some point, but it is incredibly important that we remember Ohio Western Reserve Ladies has a massive mission. And while Reads Across America is very visual, you can see it, you can touch it, it tends to take a lot of our time and we talk about it a lot. It is actually a very small portion of what we do and the impact that we have. And I think you could see that in some of the comments from the people who kind of came to the rise. And those are the people who really do see maybe the lesser visual component. And so I want to encourage everybody to understand Reads Across America, while it's big and it's bougie and it's, fancy and all the things, it is a very small component of what we do. And so we kind of need those of you who have something to say, even if it's negative, to remember your forum.
Yeah, and I think we talked about yesterday. I think this is a great opportunity. What is that mission? We're again, you're gonna talk about anniversaries. We're right on about 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 3 years, but the we stood this group up under the pretense that no veteran will be buried alone. Our ultimate mission is to make sure that we have one of our ladies present every day that they're burying people at Ohio Western Reserve. And we were able to actually start enacting that this past year. And that's to be celebrated. And we don't need those high fives. We don't, we get to see it happen and it's incredible. But I definitely see that piece was missing, right? When you looked at some of the comments and things online. So yes, we also do a lot with Wreaths Across America to help make it happen here at Ohio Western Reserve National Cemetery. But it's just like you said, it's just a piece. The No Veteran Buried Alone, building connections for our families and support of the families who are interned there. That's where our mission is. We've built quite a group. That's been incredible getting to know these ladies and to work with everybody. You know, I'm very proud of all the things. So I'm also proud that we're going to move forward through this, just like anything else.
For sure. For sure. All right. So with that, uh, beyond us. Like I said, we're not gonna we're gonna try not to give this too much of a voice. We do want to talk about a couple things that are actually going on at the cemetery with the wreaths. We have found out, had a couple people flat out admit to it. Man, these keyboard warriors, they get excited. That we have had some wreaths moved and maybe even potentially stolen. So if you have been at the cemetery, even after that afternoon, after we were finished laying wreaths, you potentially had your wreath moved or removed in not an ethical way. If you waited to get to the cemetery till Christmas or New Year's, all of you in your love notes to me, there is a good chance that it was placed and moved. No, we did not raise enough money to have wreaths blanket the cemetery. Even though we had all of the good intentions, we do have change. We have some changes coming. You can come to our debrief meeting, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. So, if you are sending me email that is with ill intent, that you did not get a wreath, that doesn't mean that you didn't get a wreath. It means that someone potentially thought that they should or can move or steal wreaths. We're aware, we have screenshots, we are pursuing it, all of the things. So I probably emailed you back. If I didn't, it wasn't because I didn't try. So, but understand, you should not ever move wreaths on the cemetery. Don't like, I mean, really, just don't do that. Some of them, approximately 1,600 wreaths were purchased to be laid where they were placed. Please don't add to this problem just because you think you should. You don't should on people. Don't do this stuff, guys. Like, hello. We tried to mitigate this problem. I mean, that's all I can say about it. I don't. Do you have something else? Don't move wreaths.
Unfortunately, for those who had wreaths taken, moved, we've actually seen people riding out of the cemetery with them in their cars. I've seen that with my own eyes, and there is
Yeah.
absolutely no way, guys, for us to police that. You know, we hold more than one job, full-time jobs, too many pokers in the fire. Kat and I both do. This is something that it's a volunteer organization. There's only 21 people-ish that work full-time at the cemetery, and they do an amazing job out there. And we can't police it, unfortunately. And I feel for some of the families who are frustrated because they wanted grandpa to have a grave marker and weren't able to be there at wreath laying, but came out days after and it wasn't there, it was moved. And that's unfortunate. Seeing that online where people said, it's fine, I'll just take it off another grave. Again, it's really disappointing.
Like, yeah, please don't do that.
Exactly the problem. So
Right.
again, our message is, if you think in your head, oh, the easy solution is I'll just move one right here, you're then leaving somebody else without, and some family in the same situation. Please don't do that.
Right,
We
exactly.
definitely have tried to research and look into all of the concerns and things like that. Again, more to come with that with the debrief meeting. But message right here is, don't reallocate wreaths. You will be able to, once they're being removed from the cemetery, you will have an opportunity at that point if you'd like to take it home. At that point you can. But up until then, leave them where they are.
I do want to take a quick chance here to just recognize all of the volunteers, the students that spent their time placing those wreaths, sweeping to make sure that everyone had an allocated wreath that purchased one. Those students did an amazing job. It was very cold that day. Medina Oddfellows did step in and help with a warming center for the students. Just all of our volunteers that day did a stunning job, and we're very appreciative for everybody that came very early. Our trucks were all on time. Thank you for our companies who had their drivers show up on time. And again, we're going to talk about all of that at our debrief meeting. We've tagged everybody. Please, patronize those businesses, share on their social medias. So. All right, let's talk about the database. Now, if you're seeing this video, you most likely are on one of our social media sites or you've been tagged. By the way, it helps us reach people that are not yet on our database if you comment on the platform that you're watching it live or that you're watching the replay. So if you drop a comment, if you have a question while we're on here, we're happy to answer it. We're watching the live feeds for questions. So feel free, and we'll try to adjust and answer questions that you have. So if you are only receiving our messages via the Reads Across America platform, we are going to encourage you to also get on OhioWesternReserveLadies.org and join our mailing list only option. One of the things that we discovered, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time throughout this process, is that our reach at Ohio Western Reserve Ladies is way bigger than we realized. Becky mentioned at the beginning here, we're only 3 years in, and we literally started from dust. We were just a basic concept that Jesse, the director of the cemetery, asked us to create. And in that very short period of time, we have a massive geographical footprint. We have grown our social media to a point where we are monetized now. We are much larger than any other organization that has ever tried to do this type of thing. Reads Across America is only distributing to 8,500 contacts for all of the allocation that Reads Across America has done for all the years that it has ever done. So take all the years that Reads Across America has existed at Ohio Western, there's only 8,500 contacts that they have for us. So our reach at Ohio Western Reserve Ladies is much bigger than Reads Across America's reach gives us. We had no idea. In the humility that we had, we were like, oh yeah, we need this. We didn't realize. So if you are only getting our messages through Reads Across America, you may do yourself some justice to also be on our mailing list so that you're getting the best information. We're excited. It means we're growing. It means our mission is worthy of the people and the bigger reach, but it also means that some of the tripping hazards that we found this year could be because of the aging database that Reads Across America is managing. And we want to be able to mitigate as many problems as we can, if that makes sense. Did I get that across? Okay, Becky?
Yeah, I think so. I think that 8,500 still sounds probably to a lot of people like such a large number. But when you're talking about, a decade or, longer of an event, that number should be a lot higher. Yes, some people come back and repeat by reads, things like that. But we do know that, that demographic changes as time goes on naturally. And it also should really grow. And many of those email addresses are actually like dead email addresses that don't exist anymore, and they'll send something out and it kind of kicks back. So they're not even all accurate email addresses. And we want to make sure we're getting people the best information possible. It's very frustrating for us when, somebody says, well, this is the information, and they send us something that we didn't send them. Because we obviously, Kat and I don't know if you know this, but we like to have control of things as much as possible. And when I can't control it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate that for you, that you got bad information. So by, getting on our database, we have, and again, we're not perfect. Shoot, if something's wrong, please let us know and we'll get it updated as soon as possible. But it does help ensure it is up to date, current information. You would be able to actually update your email address if something changed, things like that.
Correct. Yeah. And we've heard your frustration. So we're trying to give you a workaround, and get that information. So All right. If you have questions about any of that, please feel free to comment or reach out. One of our committee members will get back to you. We can't promise it's going to be Becky or I, but one of our committee members will get back to you and we'll get this going for you. Okay, let's talk about a couple other things since we keep saying our mission is bigger than this. Graveside burials. Again, we have mentioned throughout the end of 2024 and now officially in 2025, Megan Tetlick is taking over our graveside burial program. She is a wonderful soul. We love her. And so she has been doing a wonderful job trying to get people engaged. Even though I know y'all don't want to go stand out there in the snow, we still have veterans that are being buried, and we still want to make sure that no one is being buried alone there. I did take a quick peek at the program. For Monday, we only have 3 burials. So the great news is Megan is able to get that schedule out to those of you who are certified to do graveside burials. Megan is doing an amazing job in letting you know, hey, by the way, you don't have to stand in the snow all day long. You only have to be there for the short window. Please, 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 if you are certified for graveside burials, be connected with Megan. Make sure you're communicating with her, and we are at bare minimum maintaining that Monday, Friday. If you want to be certified, if this is one of your resolutions for 2025 to be more active in our group and you need training, again, get in touch with Megan. She's on our Facebook page. We can get you her email address. And as soon as we have enough people interested in training, we will get a date set. I will promise to you in 2025, we will have a regular training schedule that can be anticipated. But again, Megan is just kind of getting her feet underneath her and taking the reins on that one.
People aren't going to don't want to be standing out there in 25-degree weather, so we're trying to be sensitive to that. We in an effort to respect our time and yours, we don't want to schedule trainings during times where realistically weather-wise it doesn't make sense. But if there's interest, we're going to do everything we can. Megan will do everything she can to make something happen for you so that we can get people out there to these burials.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I think it's 4. There's 4 steps to training. If it's wintertime, you could get the inside portions done so that as soon as the weather breaks, you could just do your outside part and then be done. So if you have an interest, talk to Megan. Start the conversation now and let her know that you're interested. All right, we've got a few minutes left. Let's do some upcoming dates. The website, OhioWesternReserveLadies.org, is updated with all of the dates that we have ready for 2025. That includes our new quarterly salute schedule. I believe Memorial Day is open. Wreaths Across America for 2025 is updated. So get over there, bookmark your site, all of the things. Thank you, Becky. Everything is updated as far as we have it. So jump over there. Final Salute is coming up. Final Salute would have originally been on New Year's Eve, so we bumped it January 7th, 3 p.m. Remember, dress for the weather. It is an outside event in Shelter 3, and the wind whips. So be sure to get over there and honor our veterans. We are just approaching the 500 veterans accompanied so that they wouldn't be buried alone mark. So we may cross over that mark in January for our organization. So you may want to be there for that. Final date to get your wreath. If you want your wreath yourself and you don't want it cleaned in the large sweep of cleanup, then you need to have that wreath picked up by January 19th. Please don't call me on the 20th and say, oh my gosh, I didn't know. If you got friends or family, you want your wreath, you want the tag on the wreath, whatever you want, you have to have it off by January 19th. There will be no public cleanup this year. Don't come after me. I love you all. We have a private student cleanup. And if you saw the News Channel 5 piece that we did this year, Rittman and some of our other student groups are coming to do cleanup. They do a wonderful job. Thank their backs. Don't complain. I love you all. Sell more wreaths. We'll have a public cleanup. That's the caveat. Wreath match. We are under wreath match, which means every wreath that is purchased between now and January 17th under our specific group. There is a post. I will repost it here in the next day or so. Is matched. So here's the ideal scenario. If we had every wreath purchased that was done in 2024 matched, we would have exceeded wreath count. We would have blanketed the ceremony, the cemetery. This is an incredibly important initiative that I don't know has ever really been taken advantage of. We've got a ton of
Absolutely.
campaigns out. Yep. So we were over half the cemetery this time around. If we
If you're
match it,
connected with the VSO, this is the time to get that VSO donation in because you're literally going to make their money go farther. We're grateful for all the donations that are out there. I don't want to sell any short. If we receive it midsummer, that's great. However,
yeah,
if you can get that in now, you're getting double the amount of wreaths for it.
yeah, this is better than 3 for 2. So
Right.
you have it until January 17th. It cannot be just a regular good old send my check in. It has to be in our sponsor group. It has to have the code. It has to have the location. If you have questions, Becky or I can answer them. You can make it online. You can send it in. It has to be by the 17th. Okay. I would hate to have you go through all the effort and then not have it count. Our after action or wreath debrief meeting is tentatively scheduled for February 5th. Please do not come after me here. If wreath cleanup does not happen as scheduled because of the weather, remember last year it did not happen because of the weather, we will move this. Because if we were to have some kind of problem with wreath cleanup, then you can't have an after action. So right now it is scheduled for 2/5. It is not a complaint meeting. This is only a debrief meeting, and if you have concerns, you have to come with constructive feedback. If you were at Becky's and my meeting last year, then it went amazingly. We were so excited to have everyone. Everybody came with new ideas. We will be so excited to have you with new and fresh ideas. Okay? It is not a complaint meeting. Our next live will be February 7th. If you're new to these events, we do these on the first Friday of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tell a friend. All right, Becky, I didn't see any comments on the feeds that I'm watching. Did you see any others or did we miss anything?
Nope, I didn't see anything. I left a few love notes in the comments, some dates and references for everybody to look back at as you need. And
Lovely.
stay tuned on the Facebook page because you'll see updates there as well.
I love it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. We are so excited for everything that we've got going on in 2025. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody on the 7th for the final salute and maybe even crossing over our 500 number. So, all right, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Happy New Year.